Women's empowerment across the country is a slow process because gender-based discrimination is deep-rooted within a patriarchal mindset. One often thinks that the Northeast could be an example to the rest of the country, especially since matrilineal societies exist.
See, in a matrilineal society, we take the name from the mother. So, like your second name, or what we call it, the clan name, you don't take it from the father's side, you take it from the mother's side. So that is one thing which I feel the women, they feel empowered about, because the children are their own. They are not somebody's children like in patriarchal society. Even if you give birth to children, they do not belong to you at all. They belong to somebody else, somebody's family or somebody's clan or somebody's khandan. But in our matrilineal society, that is one thing which really I feel it makes a woman feel good that the children are her own, and this will continue on not only in her children's generation, then in her grandchildren's generation and the generation so forth. They will continue her name or her clan name.
It's a good idea to believe that there is at least a one society or two societies where there is a practice of matrilineality, and it has been a fascination for many of the sociologists and anthropologists to study, the Khasi society or the Garo society, right? But at the same time, they may have a higher status, but doesn't mean that they are equal to men. The fact that they carry the family lineage, but that doesn't mean that there are no other forms of discrimination. Like, for example, they may participate, in the economy as well. They may participate, they may come out there. The visibility of the woman is there, in the outside sphere, that is in the public space. But at the same time, apart from that, one cannot say that they are equal or at par with the men.
Definitely they are respected, but again it varies from house to house, and the dynamics that they have, the relationship that they have in the household, that one is more vital in each and every place, and I think the respect comes naturally from there if it is being nurtured in the proper way, because it's all dependent on our social environment also, the social environment that we are groomed, and human behavior, all these play a very vital role.
I don't really think that women coming from matrilineal societies are much more privileged than coming from patriarchal societies, because whatever I have observed, they are also under pressure, and matrilineal is just a lineage. It's just that they follow the lineage system through the mother line instead of father line, or in patriarchal or patrilineal society. But the ruling is just the same. That's why in Meghalaya also the chief minister and most of the minister, if you see, it's male only. And even at household level also, it's not that they have all the power. Of course, the property goes through mother to daughter and in the female line, but there are these maternal uncle or brothers who have this control, who have the say over it.
The next thing which empower women in a matrilineal society is because they could own property. Because mostly property is owned by women here. When it comes to ancestral property, meaning the property which you inherit from your mother, father, and these kind of property, they cannot pass on to the son. They should pass on only to the daughter, only to the female. So female here, they do have a right, because when we talk about the Meghalaya Property Act 1984, it does not allow that ancestral property be passed on to the male. It should stay with the female only.
At household level, yes, I think women are more empowered here, being a matrilineal society, because they are the one who controls the money, property. Property goes through the female line, but not in maybe decision-making situation. There, the male also, they have equally powerful role to play, but definitely they are more empowered in Northeast and or in Shillong as compared to other parts.
It comes naturally to us. It's our instinct that we have to look after our parents, we have to look after our elders, we have to look after the past as well as the future generations. So sometimes taking care of all these small things does give us certain setbacks if we want to progress, to climb up the ladder.
Western influences in the Northeast have changed the culture, but not quite the mindset. Women's empowerment can't be thrust on society. It develops with women empowering themselves.
Even though we keep saying that we are an open society, and you see young boys and girls dressing up and traveling everywhere together, and making friends, making merry, it's still very close in a lot of ways, which is best exemplified when you see politics also. You don't see that many women joining politics, and I think even in Mizoram, we women ourselves, we discourage our women counterparts from joining politics. Last general elections also, we had so many candidates, but unfortunately they all lost, because even the other women also, the voters themselves also, they were more inclined to vote for the male candidates rather than the women candidates. So I still, even though we have come a long way, I think that we still have, there is still a lot of room for improvement.
If you take the case of the Northeast India, there is a very few representation, apart from the fact that only we know that Agatha Sangma, who has been a member of the legislative body at the national level, we don't find any names of the people from the Northeast, the women from the Northeast, to be a part of the national legislative bodies, even at the state level. And moreover, if you go to a more decentralized governance, like for example the bodies through the sixth schedule, you won't find a woman leadership there. There also it is largely dominated by the men.
In a workspace, the competition is just the same, what I feel, because I work in Delhi University and now I'm working in here, complete different part of India, northern part and northeastern part. What I feel, the competition or all this for the woman, it's similarly tough handling or balancing out between their family and the work space. Even here, women are expected to do this household chores or taking care of their children, making food before coming for work, which is just the same like in North India or other part of India. So maybe that is the reason why, so the competition or the challenges are still the same to women.
I'm glad to say that I have never felt, I've been in the government for 10 years and I've never felt discriminated because I was a woman, either from my superiors or from my colleagues, and I think that's a good thing and I'm very happy to say that. But sometimes maybe when we go to the rural areas, it's more the clients, the people, they don't expect someone like me, like when I was very young also, they didn't expect like me to sit in that position, and when they used to come to my room, they used to say, "Sir, Kapoor," but then they saw me sitting like that, so they used to feel surprised, but I don't think that was discrimination, so I took it more as a compliment.
You have many women teaching, but very few are at the top. You'll find many women in the government service, plenty of women at the lower rank. It is pyramidal. When it comes to the top, pyramidal. Very few women you have there. So we always talk about this glass ceiling. How did this glass ceiling it comes about? I think this you cannot disassociate it from the culture of the people. The culture where we live in is very patriarchal. Where women are not given space. Women are restricted by their many other house chores to do in order to progress much in their work. But even if they do progress, also men, they'll try to dominate the position of power. Those important position men will try to dominate. Even if they want to take women, they'll take women who are weak, who will be yes women. They will not generally take women who have a mind of their own. So this is not done consciously. It's not that even the men also they do this consciously. It is because of our culture.
Women we see more in business, in small scale societies, or it's handloom work and handicraft work. We do see them. A lot of women in business. In business, there are a lot of women who are flourishing, who are succeeding and doing well in business. In market area, you'll see they are just like at par with male counterparts. They are just doing the business, buying vegetables. Even the vegetable vendors also, we see a lot of buying vegetables, taking from this big markets and selling them. All those things they do. So that way they are quite independent or empowered. And yes, that is very different here, which I see.
Women can be very good entrepreneurs. In fact, they have the skill and the creativity, which is unmatched. Like for example, the weaving sector, the women contribution in the women's weaving sector is very high. But when it comes to the fact that whether they are employed in the weaving sector or not, that is questionable, because they largely do it for their own subsistence, or they are basically home based.